Welcome to Client Heartbeat Monday, something to look forward to on a Monday. My name is Gordon Tan and I'm the CEO and founder of Client Heartbeat. And today we're going to be talking about how to stop that big customer from leaving. In a previous Client Heartbeat, we actually spoke about, how to effectively predict or identify that a customer may not be satisfied. And unfortunately, if you've gotten to this point, we're going to be talking, about a particular situation where you're confident a customer is actually going elsewhere for services. Now there's a simple strategy that you can follow as part of this process, which is going to ultimately try to help you retain that customer. You're not always going to be in a position where you're able to retain the customer, but this is a really effective model for how to try to salvage whatever relationship you have left. So the first thing that you need to do as part of this process is arrange a meeting straight away. Now, I can't stress how important it is to make sure that you jump onto the issue as soon as possible. The later on in the process you engage with the customer and realize that they're actually leaving, the less chance you have of salvaging the relationship. If the customer is already at the point where they're changing passwords on you, it's too late, there's nothing that can be done. So arrange a meeting as soon as possible and get your key stakeholders, your key management team out to their office to sit down with them and have a discussion about what's going on. Book that meeting in, and basically as part of that you need to create a solution. You need to prepare a solution prior to the meeting. Now that sometimes involves self-analysis, so looking at yourself in the mirror and basically saying, look, what is the customer's particular issue? What are we doing wrong? And that will generally fall into two buckets. Obviously the technical bucket, which is, they've got ongoing performance problems or recurring issues, and the service delivery budget. So, you're not delivering on terms of response times or whatever they may be dissatisfied with. Really self-analyze yourself and come up with a solution prior to the meeting that you're going to deliver at that meeting that addresses the customer's issues holistically and is going to exceed their expectations. Once you go into the meeting, what I generally recommend is you start the meeting and basically, you deliver the managed services value proposition again. It's important that they understand that, you're aligned. The more problems that they have, the less money you make, and it's important that they understand that you understand that. In an unlimited fixed fee support relationship, you're both aligned and you should be both working to the same goals. And if you can deliver that pitch at the beginning of the meeting very quickly, 5 or 10 seconds, at least it kind of brings them on your side of the table and you start working towards a solution together, which I think is extremely important. Thirdly, as part of this process, as part of designing the solution, as part of delivering the solution at the meeting, you need to be comfortable making concessions. If you're at this point here, we're not talking about a situation where the customer's dissatisfied and they're just not happy with your services and they've called a meeting. What we're talking about now is the customer is leaving. They're out the door. Now, you need to be comfortable delivering either a significant discount or a services for free, maybe some project services for free or whatnot, if that's possible and economical for you to do. But you need to be prepared on some level to make some concessions. This isn't about selling in a new infrastructure solution. It's about retaining a high value managed service contract. And so, I'm certainly not advocating, going out and giving them a new server or giving them cloud services for free, but you need to be able and be comfortable to make some concessions with the client. Finally, after the meeting, it's super important that you create an action plan. The action plan is basically a list of items that are part of the solution with some key deliverables and some dates associated with that. And then ultimately, it's important that you deliver. You're only one chop away from the whole tree falling down on you. And it's super, super important that whatever you outline as part of your action plan with the deliverables, you deliver on. I can't stress that enough. It's a last chance saloon for you, and it's important that you just exceed the customer expectations at all times. So obviously, this process works if you identify the customer early enough that they haven't already signed the contract, or they haven't already got the passwords changed, and you're in a position where there's some ability to salvage the relationship. As part of that, I would encourage you to have a look at the previous Client Heartbeat Monday, whereby we talked about some of the ways in which you can identify a customer that's not satisfied. And ultimately, there's other tools such as Client Heartbeat, which will allow you to effectively manage and monitor your customer feedback. But what makes it unique is we've got some proprietary algorithms that we use, and we're monitoring trends obviously across a lot of data that we're collecting from other MSPs and looking at what leads to a dissatisfied customer, and then kind of intelligently predicting customers that may be at risk of leaving you. Whichever way you go, whether you're doing a quarterly survey or a quarterly business review or using something like Client Heartbeat, it's always super, super important to make sure that you get it as early as possible, because the earlier you catch it, the easier it's going to be to fix, the less concessions you're going to have to make, and ultimately the higher success rate you have of salvaging those relationships, sorry. So that's it from me for Client Heartbeat Monday for this week. I look forward to seeing you again next week.